This is the final year that the RBC Canadian Open will be sandwiched between the Open Championship and WGC-Bridgestone Invitational. Next year, with the PGA Tour dramatically reshaping its schedule, the Canadian Open will shift to the week prior to the U.S. Open. The event will also move away from Glen Abbey and be staged at Hamilton, Ontario, Golf. The Tour's stop in Memphis has traditionally been a U.S. Open warm-up, but that event is transitioning into a WGC to be held in late July. So Canada's move into the U.S. Open leadoff spot will make for an interesting choice, especially for those, such as World No. 1 Dustin Johnson and 6-time U.S. Open runner-up Phil Mickelson, who like to play their way into form before a major. About 2,700 miles separate Hamilton, Ontario, and Pebble Beach, Calif. I like playing the week before, reigning U.S. Open champion Brooks Koepka told reporters Wednesday at Glen Abbey. I think it's good prep to know where your game is at. The only problem is you're going East Coast to West Coast, and then back to the East Coast, for the Travelers Championship. So you might see some guys not play, just for the fact that they're playing the week after. But if you're not playing the week after, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be here, added two-time defending champion Jonathan Vegas. I've been talking to a lot of Canadians, and they seem to like that date even better because the weather tends to be a little better, a little cooler. I think it's going to be great for the tournament, right before the U.S. Open, so a lot of guys are going to come to get ready to play the U.S. Open, played the week after the year's third major. The Canadian Open typically struggles to produce a strong field outside of its brand ambassadors, a group that includes Johnson, who is playing this event for the 6th time. I think it'll be good for the golf tournament, Johnson said. A lot of guys like to play the week before the U.S. Open, so you'll definitely get some different guys, and I think the field will definitely improve, even though this year I feel like we have a really good field here at the RBC. I think the date move is good, and I think the field will get stronger. Colin Montgomery said Wednesday that European Ryder Cup captain Thomas Bjorn should feel very confident about his team's chances in Paris. Francesco Molinari broke through at Carnoustie to snap the American's 5-major winning streak, dating to Brooks Koepka's U.S. Open title in 2017. Amazing what an Open victory does to a team mentality, and not just him, Montgomery told reporters Wednesday at St. Andrews, site of this week's Senior Open. It was him, and Rory, McIlroy and Justin Rose came through very well, and you put all those three together with Molinari's win. Thomas is probably looking at the best team that we've had assembled for, well, almost ever, even with relative newcomers, the teams such as John Ram, Tommy Fleetwood and Alex Noren. Montgomery, the victorious 2010 captain, said these talents aren't rookies, in the traditional sense. Our rookies were rookies and had to be hidden and protected, fathered, really, he said. Now it's very different. We've got great strength and depth, and it's looking extremely good for Thomas. The mentality of a European breaking an American duck, as well. It was about time Europe came in and broke that duck, and now we have. That will give confidence to the rest of the lot, as well. Europe hasn't lost a Ryder Cup at home since 1993, article tags, Colin Montgomery. 2018 Ryder Cup. Jonathan Vegas has an opportunity this week to become just the 4th player in the past 30 years to win a PGA Tour event in 3 consecutive seasons. Vegas is a 2-time winner of the RBC Canadian Open. He's the 4th player to defend his Canadian title since 1930, and the 1st since Jim Furyk in 2006-07. Has gone on to win 3 in a row. The last player on tour to win an event 3 consecutive seasons was Steve Stricker, who captured the John Deere Classic from 2009 to 11. Tiger Woods has accomplished a three-peat in 3 different instances. Full field tee times from RBC Canadian Open. RBC Canadian Open, articles, photos and videos. It's really cool to have that opportunity, Vegas told reporters Wednesday at Glen Abbey. Obviously not many guys on tour have that opportunity to win the same tournament 3 times, especially this one. That has never been done. It's not an easy task. I feel like my game is in the right place, even though last week it was a little chaotic, and things are going the right way, so I'm going to give it a try. Last week Vegas was a late arrival to the Open, after having issues with an expired visa. His airline also lost his clubs, so he played the opening round at Carnoustie with a makeshift bag. It's been a slow season for Vegas, who enters the week at No. 123 in the FedEx Cup race with only 4 regular season events remaining. He hasn't finished inside the top 30 in an event since March. I don't want to put extra pressure on myself, but it's always something that I want to start turning around a little bit and giving myself a better chance to make the Tour Championship, which for me is the best thing that you can do at the end of the year, Vegas said. That's where everyone wants to be at the end of the year, especially being there the past 3 years and knowing how impressive it is to be there with those 30 guys playing for the Cup. Article tags Jonathan Vegas, PGA Tour, RBC Canadian Open, Glen Abbey. The PGA Tour heads north of the border for this week's RBC Canadian Open. Here are 4 featured groups to watch this week at Glen Abbey, all times ET, 8 a.m. off 10 Thursday, 1:15 p.m. Off 1 Friday, Kevin Kisner, Tony Finau, Matt Kuchar. All 3 players finished inside the top 9 at last week's Open. Kisner was a 54-hole co-leader who eventually tied for second. Finau shared 9th, his 3rd consecutive top 10 in a major, and Kuchar also tied for 9th. Finau has played the best of this 3-ball this season, with 7 top 10s. He also tied for 5th at this event a year ago. Kuchar, meanwhile, has 3 top 10s at Glen Abbey since 2013. 8:10 a.m. off 10 Thursday, 1:25 p.m. Off 1 Friday, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Adam Hadwin. Watson was the runner-up at Glen Abbey in 2015, but like Johnson, he's coming off a missed cut at the Open. Johnson's poor play down the stretch in both rounds at Carnoustie led to a surprising early exit, but a return to a personal playground should get him back on track. He's a 2-time runner-up at Glen Abbey who also tied for it a year ago. Hadwin doesn't have a top 10 in a full field event since Riviera in February. Full field tee times from RBC Canadian Open. RBC Canadian Open, articles, photos and videos. 1:15 p.m. Off 1 Thursday, 8 a.m. Off 10 Friday, Brooks Koepka, Jonathan Vegas, Tommy Fleetwood. Koepka wasn't much of a factor at the Open and now heads to Canada where he's made only 1 start, in 2015, when he tied for 18th. Vegas had an adventurous week in Scotland, after issues with his visa and luggage, but he's the 2-time defending champion of this event. The last player to win 3 in a row is Steve Stricker at the 2009-11 John Deere Classic. Fleetwood is making his tournament debut, but he has top 20s in every major and WGC this season. 1:25 p.m. off 1 Thursday, 8:10 a.m. Off 10 Friday, Sergio Garcia, Charlie Hoffman, Brent Snedeker. Garcia is in the midst of a horrible stretch of golf on tour, and at No. 132 he's in danger of failing to qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs. Though he's played some overseas in recent months, he's missed 6 of his last 7 cuts on tour. The only time he's played the weekend, he finished 70th at the Players. Hoffman is on the other end of the spectrum, with 4 consecutive top 20s worldwide, and he's finished in the top 16 in his last 3 appearances at Glen Abbey. Snedeker won at Glen Abbey in 2013 and has a pair of top -6s in his last 5 starts. Carnoustie, Scotland. 3 tournaments remain before the top 8 players qualify for the U.S. Ryder Cup team, including $10 million or more purses from the World Golf Championship at Firestone and the PGA Championship. Another deadline quickly approaching is the FedEx Cup, and Adam Scott did himself a big favor with his tie for 17th at the Open. Scott moved from No. 123 to No. 107 in the FedEx Cup standings. He should be set, especially being guaranteed points in 2 weeks as the Bridgestone Invitational. Scott, who has fallen to No. 73 in the world ranking, gets into Firestone because he played in the President's Cup last year. "There's good stuff in my game," Scott said. "I didn't hit it as well as I wanted this week, but there was still plenty of good in that. My short game is really good, I thought. So if I can just get the rhythm of the golf swing going a little better over the next couple weeks, I really feel like I can make a mark at the PGA and try to put a dent in the end of the season." Others remain in a tough spot. Sergio Garcia missed the cut at Carnoustie and fell to no. 132, which is why he decided to play the RBC Canadian Open this week for the first time since 2001. Garcia has played only 11 events on the PGA Tour this year. Bill Haas, who took time off from golf after being the passenger in a fatal car accident outside Riviera in February, is at no. 144. Busy times. Henrik Stenson banged the top part of his left arm on a door, and it was sore enough that it nearly kept him out of the Open. He could use some quick healing with a schedule that is busier than usual. A year ago, Stenson was at no. 75 in the FedEx Cup standings and in danger of not fulfilling his minimum 15 tournaments, so he entered the Wyndham Championship, which he won. Now, the Swede has a World Golf Championship at Firestone and the PGA Championship, and then the title defense at the Wyndham before the FedEx Cup playoffs start. "That's why I'm hoping the arm will clear up in a week or so, and I can get back into playing without thinking about that and just working on my game," Stenson said. "If I'm going to play all that golf, I need to pace myself and not do too much. But at the same time, I'm not feeling like I'm firing golf-wise, so you still need to put the work in. So that's a bit of a tough one. It's tough in other aspects." The Nordea Masters in Sweden, which he has never won, was moved this year to the same week as the Wyndham Championship. "So we're disappointing a lot of people," he said. Spreading the wealth, the PGA Tour Champions has its final major of the year at St. Andrews this week for the Senior Open, and it's been a year of spreading out the victories. Miguel Angel Jimenez won the region's tradition in Alabama. Paul Broadhurst won the Senior PGA Championship. David Toms won the U.S. Senior Open in Colorado, and Vijay Singh won the Senior Players Championship 2 weeks ago in Chicago. Missing from the list is Bernhard Langer, who has won majors each of the last 4 years. For the last 6 years, at least one player has won multiple senior majors. The last time the 5 majors were won by 5 players was in 2011, when they were won by Tom Lehman, Tom Watson, Olin Brown, Fred Couples and Russ Cochran. Global Tours, Shubhankar Sharma turned pro at 16 and got his start on the Professional Golf Tour of India, which offered small purses and little else. Now, it is one of 3 small circuits that will start awarding world ranking points. The board of the official World Golf Ranking approved India, the All-Thailand Golf Tour and the feeder circuit of the Japan Golf Tour into its system. Winners in Thailand and India will get a minimum of 5 points over 72-hole events, while the Abima TV Tour in Japan awards 4 points. "I think it's fabulous," Sharma said. "India has some great players, and the scores are pretty low. I think it's truly one of the better tours in Asia now. It's great we have world ranking points. It will just attract more and more sponsors, and it will help making India bigger." The ranking starts 1 year before the Olympics, and Anirban Lahiri expects quick movement. Lahiri was the first Indian to play in the President's Cup, and Lahiri and SSP Charasia represented India in the Olympics at Rio de Janeiro 2 years ago. "It's unbelievable what that's going to do," Lahiri said. "We're suddenly going to have another 20 guys in the top 300, I think." Player of the Year race, Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose and Justin Thomas are in a tight race for the points-based PGA Player of the Year, and none has won a major. Johnson, Rose, and Thomas are all 3-time winners. Each event is worth 10 points. Johnson leads in scoring average and is 3rd on the money list, while Rose is 2nd in scoring and money. That leaves both of them at 56 points. Thomas leads the money list and is number 4 in scoring average, leaving him 2 points out of the lead. As for the major champions, that is their only victory this year on the PGA Tour. Majors are worth 30 points, and there is a 50-point bonus for winning 2 majors. The PGA Tour's award is based on a vote of the players. Divots, Dr. The previous mark was $159,000 in 1999. Tiger Woods raised $19,000 for his foundation last month when he auctioned the camouflage bag he used at the Quicken Loans National. The bag was made specifically for Woods to support the tournament's Military Camouflage Day initiative. He autographed it and wrote a personal message to the winning bidder. U.S. Junior Girls Champion Yaeli Minogue and semi-finalists Lucy Lee were among 7 players named to the 12-member Junior Ryder Cup team. Liz, who was on the Curtis Cup team, is playing the Junior Ryder Cup for the second time. Rory McIlroy was the only player with all 4 rounds under par at Carnoustie. By winning the Open, Francesco Molinari took over the lead in the race to Dubai on the European Tour. It had belonged to Patrick Reed since he won the Masters. Stat of the week: Francesco Molinari and Yi Yang are the only players to win a major while paired with Tiger Woods in the final round. Final word: there's going to be a lot of European guys vying for his partnership in the foursomes at the Ryder Cup, that's for sure. Rory McIlroy on the Open champion Francesco Molinari.